Recyclers, it's Helen here from Recycled Interiors, and I am just going to show you quickly a project that we're about to do. We're going to be making over our main bedroom here at Recycled headquarters, and we've got this amazing old barn door that we're going to turn into our bed head. So I'm just going to show you as we go through the process how we got it, how it came, what we do to it, and hopefully we'll take you over a few episodes about how you might like to do this yourself. So thank you, we will get on with it. So this is the door, and I'll show you the other side as well. It's a really old gnarly door. You can see there's a lot of peeling paint, which is lovely, but we really don't want this paint, which could be lead-based paint, falling down on top of our heads. So we're going to give it an extremely good clean up. It's got years of ground in dirt. We're also deciding which side to use, because you can see, sorry about that everyone, you can see that it's got a lovely option on both sides. So we quite like this side because it's got those panels across the braces, and we're also quite keen on the hinges, the rusty hinges, and this doorknob being a feature on the bed head. But we also really like the clean line of the other side, so I think at the end of the day that's probably what's going to win out. But we'll give it a clean, and then we will go from there. First thing we're going to do is just strip the door down. So I'm just going to take off all these really old hooks and things. This is just with a slotted screwdriver. Obviously we're going to have a few holes left in there, but that's okay. We could bog those up if we wanted to. And this here is a little bit damaged, so I probably am going to take this off, where it could be quite a nice feature. We could probably bang it out and make it look better, but I think we're probably going to take this off, and this side's going to be more flat on the wall anyway. So you basically, yeah, you just want to strip all that stuff down. You want to use your claw hammer. And some of these nails have been in here a very, very long time, so they can be a bit tricky to get out. I've actually just been pushing them to the side a little bit, so loosening them up to make them a little hole. Or you could do what Mr. Recycled is doing, call in an expert. Oh, he's already got it out. You didn't show us how to do it. That's all right. It's going to show us again. So apparently you need to go like that with the hammer against the door, which is not what I did. Alright, so now we're going to get these screws out. Basically I think if that wasn't damaged and you were going to have that side of the door as a bed head, I'd probably leave those in because they'll come up really nice when you clean it up. But because these ones are pretty banged up and we're going to have the bed the other way, probably the bed head, so we'll take them out. So you need to make sure you get the right size flathead screwdriver. You need to apply a fair bit of pressure because these babies have been in here a very, very long time. Probably swear a bit and make a lot of noise. Would be normal. But yes, you can see we just got to work at these to get them out, and it might take you a little bit of time. It's going to try a bit of a...
Plan B.
There's always plan B. See, look at that. Perfect. Hammer. Bit of strength. This is called the rip the shit out of it method. Look at that. Wonderful. Well done, Mr. Recycled. There we go. So that one's off. So there's a little bit of damage there, but that doesn't really matter because that's going to be the other side of the door, and anyway that's part of the character. So we're going to do that again to the other one, and then we'll take it outside and we'll show you what we're going to do next. Keep going. So this one's being a real sucker. Very hard to get out, so just using the screwdriver and the hammer to prise it out basically. Obviously if you were going to do something that you didn't want to damage, you probably wouldn't necessarily want to do this, but because of the piece that it is, we're not too fussed. So there it comes. Hammers, screwdrivers, gotta have them. This one required the crowbar. Yeah, whoa, well done. That was giving me a headache. that was seriously giving me a headache. But anyway, they're all out. We've got these saw bench things out. Saw stools, thanks Mr. Recycled. I saw horses. Okay, so we can ride them. And I just have to show you this stupid cat. She wants to go for a swim. Do you know you can't swim? Anyway, so I've got it here. I'm going to blast it basically with the hose and give it a really good scrub as well with just some gentle detergent. So I'm going to do that, and I'll come back and show you. So I'm just using this high pressure hose. So I mean, it's not an overly high pressure, it's just a normal fitting that you can get from the shop that we've taken off the end. You want to use it on that sort of really high squirting level. You want to get all the dirt out of all these crevices here. And then this has actually been a barn door, so goodness gracious knows what's actually been in and on this door. So you want to, yeah, you really want to give it a good clean, and then I'm going to give it a good scrub in a minute as well. But you can see that's coming up beautiful. So you need to make sure you're protecting yourself, because you don't know how many years of dirt are in here, and also it could be lead-based paint. So I'm basically just using some bicarb to start with, and don't tell me stuff behind camera. Using some bicarb, and you see all the dirt, and actually it's bringing up quite a lot of the flaky paint, which is what we want. So we want to get that beautiful timber that's underneath. And it's got to put a fair bit of elbow grease into this. And I'll probably work some detergent into it after I've done this first lot with the bicarb. Press the square. So I've sort of done as much as I want for the moment on one side. So I'm just going to tip it over, and even though this is probably the side that we're going to have against the wall, I'm going to give it a really good clean, because again we want to get that dirt out. And we may end up deciding to use this side, but I'm going to follow the same process with the bicarb and the scrubbing and the high pressure on this side as well. Now I've got a belt sander that we could use, but I actually quite like just getting stuck in with my own hands. So I'm just using one of these hand sanding thingies. I'm sure Mr. Recycled's got a name for it. And I'm really just going with the sanding in a few areas, because you can see how much dirt's still coming up. So it's going to take a fair bit of effort, I think, to get this up. But you can also see this beautiful grain coming. And I actually don't want to totally get rid of this little bit of hint of red. So I want to leave some areas with a bit of the red still. So I'm going to have a crack at that. And you can see how beautiful that grain is underneath. Just going to have a bit of a go at some of it with the little sander here. There's some areas that I want to make sure we've definitely got off, and I'm not sure how much of it I want to keep. So I've had a go with the little mouse sander just to get into the areas that I wanted to get more of that red off and get a more smooth finish. But I wanted to leave a bit of that red in, so it shows some of the original way that we found it. And I've also gone around the edges of the door, particularly where it's going to be at the bottom of the bed head, and just smooth that out as well. I'm just going to play with a few different finishes. I'm thinking about maybe just oiling it, but I'm also going to have a little bit of a go with a liming white, because I think that could bring out a lovely finish. So I shall put some of that on, and then we'll see what that looks like. So the liming white will give a beautiful finish to the timber, and it'll show through the grains once it dries and becomes more opaque. So I've decided that that's what I actually want to do. It is an oil-based product, so you do need to clean up with your terps. So this is after just one coat of the liming white. So we're just going to let that dry for about 8 hours, and then hopefully it'll become a bit more opaque and give that nice shabby chic finish. Okay, so we have cleaned it, sanded it, hand sanded it, used the electric sander, and then I've applied a liming white from Feast Watson, which gives that beautiful shabby, beachy, sort of French country look. Now we've got a fairly, that's the kind of look I was going for my bedroom, so I didn't want it totally in that sort of rustic finish. I wanted to soften that. So I put the liming white on, but then I've actually gone over it again with that sander to strip some of that back. So I left it about half an hour or so in the sun. So you want to make sure it's fairly dry, tacky, depending on the conditions. You don't want it to be really wet still, but just tacky, because it's oil-based, it will get tacky. And then use the sander or hand sand if you don't have it, but ideally a little hand sander, the cheap little ones will do fine, to bring back the areas of timber that you really want to highlight, because this is also going to be finished with a clear varnish finish afterwards, so that's going to protect it and really bring out the gloss and bring out those timber grains. So I didn't want to totally lose those timber grains. So I'm really happy with how that's coming out. And so the next stage, once that's dry, will be to put that finish on it. Okay, so we've left it all day and it has dried beautifully. And as you do on a Sunday night, I've been out here oiling it up. Now, I've done a couple of things. I've actually used this hemp oil because I just love hemp oil. It's a beautiful finish. But I have also used some Scandinavian oil over the top, and when that's dry, in about 5 or 10 minutes or so, I'll give it a buff, and then I'll decide tomorrow whether to recoat with the Scandinavian oil or whether I need to put a clear varnish, another clear varnish on the top, which is what's recommended with the liming. But I'm very, very pleased with how that's come up. You could just use a natural finish on there. I also have some waxes and things I could use, but I think the oils just give it that little bit more protection, and also help to bring out the richness of the different colour blends.